Hi, it's Mark Gordon with GoldenTicker.com on March the 1st, 2011, and just wanted to go over a few charts with you. This is a chart of the NASDAQ, a daily chart, and you can see that we're down here testing this blue line, which is the 50-day moving average. And at the 50-day, large investors will step in and support stocks if they believe they're moving higher. So this is a critical area for the NASDAQ to test here. Now, we tested it a few days ago. Came down to it, it held, and then ran back up here above this red line, which is the 21-day moving average, and we've now fallen back off 1.6% today on a pickup in volume. You can see that volume was heavier today than the previous session yesterday, and that's called distribution, and that's selling by institutions. So very critical that we hold this area here, especially above 2705. Now, we did test this line, got near it here in February, also back here in December, also back here in November, and each time we went on to new 52-week highs. So very critical area for the NASDAQ. Now, it's also worth noting that Investors Business Daily is calling this market uptrend under pressure, and that essentially means that we're still in rally mode, but leading stocks are not acting right, and maybe not a good time to commit new capital to the markets. I now want to run through a few key stocks here. This is Apple, of course, the leading growth stock, and it was down 1.1% today on a pickup in volume, but average volume. And you can see that Apple came down here last week and tested its 50-day moving average, this blue line, and it held. 3 days in a row they tried to hammer it down below that, but support came in, and then it rallied back up here above this red line, which is the 21-day moving average, and now we've fallen a little bit below that. So Apple actually acting fine in a nice uptrend here, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully it can hold this line. If Apple starts to fall apart, I would say the general market would start to fall apart as well, because so many people have their eye on this bellwether stock. And leading retailer, behemoth Amazon.com, was not so lucky, down 2.2% today on above average volume. And Amazon has not been able to hold its blue line here, the 50-day. It's been getting support at the 100-day, this green dotted line, but today we closed substantially under it. And yesterday we also closed under it on a pickup in volume, which was a distribution day, or a day of heavy institutional selling. So Amazon not holding up well and dragging down the retail section. And Acme Packet is a hot tech stock, and it's holding its red line here, which is the 21-day moving average, getting support here again last week, and but down 6.05% today after hitting a new high yesterday. But Acme Packet really running strongly and holding above all the key moving averages here. And here's a chart of Aruba Networks, a very strong networking stock. Broke out here, gapped up last week on tremendous volume, and now we're just kind of drifting down in average and below average volume, going sideways here, holding its 10-day moving average, this gray line here, but down 5.45% today. But Aruba, all in all, looking very strong. And here's a chart of Chipotle Mexican Grills, another leading retail stock here. And Chipotle broke out here a few weeks ago, hit a new high of $275, and has now been pulling back ever since. Came down here last week and tested the blue line, the 50-day moving average, got support, bounced up, and now we're coming back down. But volume has been fairly light. But holding this 50-day moving average for Chipotle is going to be key. And here's Concho Resources, a leading oil and gas play, and with the high price of oil, of course, this sector's hot. And Concho hit a new high yesterday and backed off in light trade here. So Concho looking real good above its 10-day moving average and all the key moving averages. I'm looking at another leading retail stock. Here's Netflix. Again, breaking out here several weeks ago, hitting a new high, and then backing off ever since. Same theme in these retailers. Today, got down to the blue line, the 50-day moving average, and held that line. So it's very key that Netflix holds this line. And you're seeing that a lot with the retail section, coming down and testing key moving averages. And Netflix only down 1% today, though. And here's Baidu, leading growth stock, the Google of China, monster stock. Broke out here several weeks ago, hit a new high, been pulling back for the last several weeks here, well above the blue line, this 50-day moving average, and all the key moving averages here. Got below the 21-day here today, off 2.75% in fairly light volume. So Baidu breaking out and just kind of meandering, going sideways a bit, trying to find a direction here. And I think that's what the market's doing. We're these leaders are pulling back, testing moving averages, and waiting for some sort of a direction here. The Mideast tensions, of course, are weighing down a lot of stocks, and so let's see what happens here. But now is not the time to be committing, too much, or if any, new capital to the markets. I think it's a wait and see time. Commodities, gold and silver, oil and gas stocks are in play right now, but I think the rest of the market is digesting right now.